Hey, I wanted to take a moment before we start the quest to talk about something that you do as a deck builder, and that's using a splash hero. We've used this term before on the podcast, and I think I've mentioned it, but it's when you need a sphere and you don't really care what the hero does. It's nice if they have an ability that works with your deck, but you really just need access to a certain sphere. And I think at this point in the card pool, there are 2 good splash heroes for every sphere. So what is a splash hero? Well, in my mind, it's giving you access to the sphere you need, and then it contains at least 2 of these 3 things. It has low threat, it has 2 or more willpower, and it has some sort of acceleration ability. So let's look at what I consider to be the 2 splash heroes for each sphere at this point in the card pool. For lore, you got Biffer and Pippin. They both have really low threats. Biffer lets you accelerate your ability to play lore cards because you can move a resource to his resource pool, and he has 2 willpower. Pippin also has 2 willpower, low threat, and then he increases the enemy's engagement cost, which is nice, and he also accelerates your card draw by letting you draw a card when you engage an enemy with a higher engagement than your threat. So these are both really good splash heroes for lore. If you just need a deck that you want access to lore for card draw, just put one of these 2 heroes in. Let's go to Spirit. The 2 splash heroes for Spirit are also 2 of the best heroes in the game. So Arwen's threat's a little high at 9, but it's not ridiculous. She has 3 willpower, and then she has an ability that accelerates your resources by discarding a card to generate a resource, and also with Elven Light, of course, she's accelerating card draw, because then you can pay 1 resource to pull Elven Light back and draw a card. And then, of course, Spirit Glorfindel, Splorfy, he's the original splash hero. So with only 5 threat, 3 willpower, 3 attack, and 5 hit points. He's just amazing. In any deck, you need access to Spirit. His ability is a negative, but with Light of Valinor, you negate that right out. So he is absolutely amazing. All right, let's jump over to Tactics. I had mentioned this in other videos, but Tactics Mary is always the hero I used when I just wanted access to tactics for weapons and events. So with his 6 threat and 2 willpower, he is a really good splash hero. Usually his abilities I did nothing with. I just wanted him in the deck so I could play tactics cards and have a little more questing. And then also at 6 threat is Eowyn. She is arguably the best hero in the game. She has tactics with 4 willpower, which literally made mono tactics a type of deck that you could take up against almost any quest. And then with her huge bomb ability to attack for 10, it just makes her an absolute force. And it is hard to imagine playing a deck where you need access to tactics and you just don't include tactics Eowyn. I mean, why wouldn't you? The runner-up, I guess, would be Mablung. You could use him as a splash hero, but if tactics Eowyn's available, it's really hard not to play her. All right, let's take a look at leadership. For leadership, we have the 3rd Hobbit from the Black Riders box, Sam. He only has 8 threat and he has 3 willpower, and he can ready when you engage an enemy with a higher engagement cost. That's not going to happen all the time if you're using him as a splash hero, but if you just want access to leadership, his 8 threat and 3 willpower is really great. The other choice is Denethor. He's got low threat with 8 as well. He doesn't have much willpower. He's an amazing defender, but his acceleration ability, accelerating your resources, is really, really good. But both of these heroes are excellent if you just need access to leadership to play certain events and allies or whatever you needed it for. And I would include either of these if you're not too interested in the abilities of the hero. So that is just a quick little deck building guide that I like to use when you're building a deck and you just want access to a certain sphere. Those are the heroes I'm always considering when I don't have a particular need for that hero to have an ability. I just want access to the sphere. I hope this helps you. And now a quick word about this upcoming video. So before we get to this first quest, I want to tell you what's going to happen. So you're going to watch me play the quest, and then you're going to see a very edited version of the first time I played this quest. And the reason I replayed it is not because I lost, it's because it was the most boring game of Lord of the Rings, the card game, I have ever played. Nothing happened. So I was actually embarrassed to think I was going to post the video and make people watch this boring leisurely stroll through a desert. I don't know what the odds are of this happening, but the encounter deck never revealed an enemy. So if you want to watch it, it's actually pretty ridiculous. And like I said, I edited it way down, so it's a very short version of the game that I played. All right, here we go. Desert Crossing, Side 1A, the Desert of Harad. We're going to add burnt sands to the staging area, and then we're going to place a heat tracker and set it to 10. So there's my heat tracker. I thought it looked pretty heaty with all that fire. All right, burnt sands, 2 threat, 3 progress. It gets plus 2 threat if our temperature hits 40. And when we travel there, we need to increase the temperature by 2. Side 1B, 8 quest points, forced. When an ally enters play, we either have to exhaust it or deal 1 damage to it. At the end of the round, we're going to increase the temperature by 4, and if we ever hit 60 on our temperature tracker, we lose the game. There's a lot of direct damage in this quest, so we're going to be bringing some of our own. We got Haldir of Lorien, 2313, Sylvan Ranger Scout, and then if I haven't engaged an enemy in the combat phase, he can attack up into the staging area, and he's 9 threat and lore. This is going to be extremely helpful. These enemies are really annoying if they attack you, and they're actually not that hard to kill. So having somebody who can kill them up in staging is really helpful on this quest. We also are going to bring Celeborn. So we're bringing a Sylvan deck. He is 11 threat, 3, 2, 2, 4, Sylvan Noble. And when a Sylvan ally enters play, that ally gets +1 to its stats until the end of the round. And then finally, our splash hero is Eowyn. She's going to quest for 4. She can do her big bomb attack, and she gives us access to tactics, which is super useful because I need to get some weapons on Haldir, and I also have some tactics events that I want to play. This is a Sylvan deck. We haven't played Sylvan since the Ringmaker cycle. Trouble in Tharbad and Celeborn's Secret, I think, was the last time we did Sylvans. So let's see if anything has changed about Sylvans. This is a very classic Sylvan build where you got Celeborn boosting them all, and then you have access to tactics and lore, and it works really well. This is one of the decks I have played a million times. I could probably build it in my sleep, and that Sylvan Tracker is the key card of the deck. So we are keeping this hand, and I got Olorian, so that's great. But the Sylvan Tracker does some healing at the refresh phase, which is really important because there's going to be a lot of direct damage being dealt out in this quest. All right, Heed the Dream also found, so let's play that. So you spend 1 lore resource, you get to look at the top 5 cards and pick one. And then if you wanted to spend 3 leadership resources, you can pick out any card from your entire deck. The card I'm going to grab is a weapon. That's what I was hoping to find. Our goal right now is to get through this first stage as fast as possible, so we're not going to play any allies because it has that ally hate. Let's put the weapon into play, so now an enemy gets -2 defense when Haldir makes the attack. And let's put Olorian in play. You exhaust it to reduce the cost of the next Sylvan you play by 1 to a minimum of 1. We have 8 progress to make. We're up against 2 threat. We're going to send 7 with Celeborn and Eowyn, and the card we get is... All right, here we go. Perfect. So this is the Sand Viper. This game is already more interesting than my first one. So he's 4 threat, but Haldir can easily kill him. So we only make 1 progress, but that's why Haldir's in this deck. That guy is really annoying. You can't declare defenders against him, so he just does damage to a hero plus whatever the shadow was. So we are not going to travel, because when we travel, we have to engage the Sand Viper. So instead of traveling, we're going to leave the burnt sands in the staging area. Haldir kills it, and then I can exhaust my weapon and play Foehammer and draw 3 more cards. The cards I get are 3 allies. Okay, great. I'm really happy to see all those, so that is really nice. Let's go into the next round. My plan is to save up 2 lore resources so I can get that Sylvan Tracker into play next round. You'll see why that card is so important when we get to stage 2. The card I draw is another sword, so we got another Rivendell Blade, so I really don't need 2 of those. I'd rather have a different weapon. Okay, Olorian's going to reduce the cost of this Sylvan. It's the Nath Guide. She comes into play. I'm going to exhaust her per the quest card effect, and when she enters play, you choose a hero. That hero does not exhaust to commit to the quest, so I will choose Haldir. So now we are sending 9, and we're up against 2. And the card we reveal is a side quest. Okay, it is Craft Remedy, and then it says treat the text box of each damage character as if it was blank, except for traits. And then when the stage is defeated, we heal 1 damage from each character in play. That card really shuts down the Sylvan Tracker. That is definitely the encounter deck's tech against my deck. So I want to clear that as fast as possible. But we do make the 7 progress needed to advance to stage 2. So here we go. Stage 2, under the Merciless Sun. We need to increase the temperature by 2. We're going to shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck, and then we're going to reveal a card. So our temperature is now 16. And we're going to give the encounter deck a shuffle. All right, and let's reveal an encounter card. The card we get is, it's Scorching Sun, so it surges, and then it says when revealed we have to increase the temperature by 4. I was really liking that my temperature was this low going into this round. Into this quest stage. So now we're at 20. All right, it surges into, another side quest. Seek Shade, that's thematic. 6 progress, it's going to surge as well. And at the end of the round, remove X progress from the main quest, where X is the 10 digit of the temperature. And when the stage is defeated, we get to decrease the temperature by 10. That is really helpful. So that's going to surge, and now we have 2 side quests in play, and a quest where you want to get through quests as fast as possible. Towering Dunes, a 3-threat location for progress. And while it's in the staging area, it's the only location you can put progress on. And then after it becomes the active location, you reveal the top card of the encounter deck. All of these locations say after they become the active location, so it really shuts down anything that removes the traveling cost. Okay, side 2B, 14 quest points, forced at the end of the round, increase the temperature by 4, and then each player assigns X damage among characters he controls, where X is the 10 digit of the temperature, and then if we ever hit 60, we lose. That is where all the direct damage is going to come in, and so that's why the Sylvan Tracker is going to be so dang important. Alright, so let's travel to these Towering Dunes, since if I get an enemy, Haldir can still attack it. We don't get an enemy, we get another Scorching Sun, so man, my temperature just shot up by 8 degrees. That wasn't very nice. Okay, it surges into, there's an enemy, it is the giant scorpion. It takes 6 attack to kill it, and Haldir is attacking for 5, so I can do 3 of the 4 damage, but I have a way to kill it next round. And speaking of next round, let's go into it. We increase our temperature by 4. So we are at 28, almost halfway there. We got to deal out 2 damage because the 10 digits is a 2. And the next round we draw Daron's Runes. So let's play that. And we're going to draw 2 cards. There's Eorith and another Sylvan Tracker. So 2 healing cards, lots of healing in this deck. I'm going to discard this Master of the Forge. I already found Olorian and I have a weapon. So that's why he's in this deck. And then Olorian's going to reduce the cost of the next Sylvan I play. And I have 2 lore resources. So let's play the Sylvan Tracker. Here's the MVP. 1113, and then response, after a Sylvan character readies during the refresh phase, heal 1 damage from that character. So you can see how this works. The Sylvan Tracker will heal everybody, and then this quest effect will damage my Sylvans. Okay, I'm going to spend 2 resources to pop in this Galadan Archer. It does a damage to an enemy not engaged with me, so we do kill the Scorpion. So we have brought our own direct damage to take against this direct damage quest. And then finally, we're going to pop in Eorith. She costs 0. You spend a lore resource and exhaust her to heal 3 damage off a character. I'm still worried about healing up everybody. There's lots of direct damage in this quest. Okay, that Sylvan Tracker is questing for 2, and the Nath Guide is questing for 1. So I am sending a total of 10, but I might have that wrong on my tracker there. I need to decide which side quest to go against. I'm going to go against Seek Shade because I don't think I could clear either of them right now. So let's just get some progress on Seek Shade. And we get Burnt Sands again. So that is another 2 threat. So I only make 6 progress, but I miscalculated. So I only think I made 5. So we only place 1 progress on Seek Shade. And then we're going to travel to Burnt Sands, which means we have to increase our temperature by 2. There's no progress on the main quest to be removed per the side quest. Because the Sylvan Tracker is not damaged, its text box is not blank, so any Sylvan that readies in the refresh phase will heal 1 damage. And I make a mistake here, I heal Haldir. He wasn't exhausted, so he should still have a damage on him. Sorry for this mistake. And then at the end of the round, you increase the temperature by 4, and now we're going to deal out 3 damage. And I'm taking a calculated risk here that we're going to be able to clear the Craft Remedy side quest this round, and that will make it so the Sylvan Tracker's text box is not blank. All right, we drew the Tree People, so that's really fun. So I pulled back a Sylvan. You get to look at your top 5, and you get to put another Sylvan into play. So the Sylvan we found is a Minstrel, and when she enters play, you get to search your top 5 cards for an event and add that to your hand. So here comes the shuffling. Okay, the deck is shuffled after playing the Tree People. Now we're going to look at the top 5 cards for an event. We've got Hands Upon the Bow and the Tree People. I'll take Hands Upon the Bow, but the Tree People is also very tempting. And now we're going to shuffle again. With Olorian's discount, we can play Nath Guide, so she's going to be questing for 2, and she will choose Haldir to not exhaust to quest. And then I will spend 1 lore resource to play Henemarth. You can exhaust him to look at the top card of the deck, but his stats are boosted right now, so he will also be committing to the quest. If I hadn't used Tree People to pull back the Nath Guide, I would have played the Nath Guide that I still have from my opening hand. So Haldir was committing to the quest unexhausted either way. We are questing against Craft Remedy. I don't think there's any cards that could come out that could give us enough threat to not clear it. I am sending a total of 15 willpower on the quest. The card we get is another Sand Viper for threat. So Haldir's ready, so that's good. He'll be able to kill it. We do clear the active location, and we have enough progress left over to clear Craft Remedy. So let's heal 1 damage off of each character in play. And then I'm not going to engage the Sand Viper, and I make another mistake. I hate making mistakes, but I shouldn't have traveled, because when you travel, it makes the Sand Viper engage you. So we can either pretend I played Hands Upon the Bow to kill the Sand Viper, or I just didn't travel. It's not going to affect the end of the game, but it is a mistake. In the combat phase, since I didn't engage an enemy, I will kill the Sand Viper, and then I'm going to trigger not Hands Upon the Bow. I'm going to trigger Foe Hammer. There it is. So exhaust a weapon after you kill an enemy and draw 3 cards. There's Feigned Voices, there's a new Sylvan, and there's a Defender of the Nath. Okay, great cards. So it's the end of the round, so you raise your threat. Everybody readies. Any Sylvan with damage would have healed, but there is no damage on the board, even though technically Haldir would have had one. So right there, he would have healed it. And then I have to deal out 4 damage because my temperature goes up to 40. So I got to deal out a total of 4 damage. So you raise the temperature and then deal the damage. So I'm going to deal out the damage like that, and we are going to go into the next round. I draw my 3rd copy of Foe Hammer, so card draw is not a problem. Henemarth is going to exhaust and look at the top card, and we get Heat Exhaustion. When revealed, each player exhausts a character and deals 1 damage to that character. Well, since I know I'm not going to have combat, I'm just going to exhaust everybody and send them on the quests. So it's good that I know that card was coming, because most likely I would have left up characters and one of them would have had to take an extra damage. I don't think it would have killed anybody. I probably would have just exhausted Haldir. All right, let's spend some money and put in the Defender of the Nath. So he will be questing for 1 because he gets a boost from Celeborn. And like I said, I'm just sending everybody on the quest, and we're questing against the side quest. And when we clear it, we will get to drop our temperature by 10, which is really great. 13 willpower going on the quest this round, and we are going to quest against the side quest. I don't exhaust anybody because no one is ready to exhaust. We quested against 0. Goodbye, active location. Goodbye, Seek Shade. Let's reduce our temperature by 10. That feels good. So now we're going to drop back down to 30. So we're exactly halfway away from losing. But then we raise it right back up to 34 because it's the end of the round. Everybody's going to heal up, and then I'm going to deal the damage back out. So I kind of did that in the wrong order. But the end result is there's a total of 4 damage on the board. So it ends up being right, even though I didn't do it all in the right order. And all these Sylvans just have 1 damage, which is exactly what you want, because then each refresh phase, the tracker just heals it all off, and then you just put it right back on, and you just keep repeating that. And that's how you beat this quest with no problem. That's why the Sylvan tracker is just the MVP. Okay, Daron's Runes finds me Orphan and Lembus, some readying and healing, and a nice Sylvan ally. Henemarth shows me we're going to be against Unbearable Heat. And then we're going to have to assign X damage among characters we control, where X is the 10-digit number. So that's not going to be a problem, especially with Eorith on the table. So let's trigger Olorian, reduce the cost of the next Sylvan we play, and we're going to play a second Nath Guide. She will once again target Haldir to not exhaust. So I'm going to be going up against the main quest, and we're going to try to blast through it. Since I haven't drawn a different weapon, let's spend a tactics resource to give Haldir a second Rivendell Blade. There's not really any enemies that will get up to 4 defense. Maybe a Wereworm if one of those come out. But for the most part, I would have rather had a different weapon on him. All right, sending everybody, including Haldir. We're going to have to assign 3 damage among characters in play. So I'm going to put 2 on Celeborn, and then 1 on Haldir, because most of these Sylvans just have 1 hit point. I'm going to spend a lore resource, exhaust Eorith, and heal Celeborn all the way up. We were requesting against nothing, so we make enough progress to clear stage 2. And let's go on to stage 3. Beast of Legend. When revealed, increase temperature by 2. And then we dig a Wereworm out of the deck and add it to the staging area. And then you give the encounter deck a shuffle. The temperature is climbing again. We're up to 36. Let's look through the deck and find a wereworm. There one is right there, and now we're going to shuffle. I feel like this is a quest you should be playing if you just watched Dune. So here's your wereworm, XXX5. X is the 10 digit of the temperature, and then when it engages you, it makes an immediate attack. Do not deal it a shadow card for this attack. Let's look at 3B. 16 quest points needed. During the quest phase, we're going to add X threat to the staging area, where X is the 10 digit, and then at the end of the round, increase the temperature by 4. If we hit 60, we lose. If there are no wereworms in play and 16 progress, we're going to win the game. And right here is why I wish I had a different weapon. If I play Hands Upon the Bow, I get +1 attack, but I'm still 1 attack short because those 2 Rivendell Blades just decrease defense, and there's only 3 defense on this guy. So I can't quite kill it with Haldir and Hands Upon the Bow. I just remembered I never discarded a card to that Daron's Rune, so I will get rid of that Archer. So we do have to engage this guy, which is really a bummer. So he's going to attack without a shadow card. So he's attacking for 3. And I have a decision to make. I think I'll have the Defender of the Nath jump in front of it. So he's dead, of course. And then for the next attack, I can play Feigned Voices, because Feigned Voices is only a combat action. So you can't play it on any enemy that says when it engages you, it attacks. So Feigned Voices, you pull back a Sylvan, and then the enemy cannot make an attack against you. Now, Haldir plus the Galadan Archer have just enough to kill this worm. So it took 8 to kill it. If I couldn't have done that, that's what Eowyn is for. So Eowyn could have readied and attacked for 9 with the help of Haldir. All right, let's do the end of the round stuff. So you ready, everybody? Every Sylvan that readied heals a damage. And then we're going to increase the temperature up to 40. I no longer have to deal damage out at the end of the round, so that's nice. And let's go into the next round. Everybody gets some money. And the card I draw is another copy of Olorian. Definitely don't need that. It's unique. And now let's look at the top card. The top card of the deck is Sandstorm. When revealed, each player either discards his hand or assigns X damage among characters he controls, where X is the number of cards in his hand. Okay, pretty nasty card. Let's see how many cards I have in my hand. I had Foehammer. I could have used that last round. Okay, well, I'm glad I forgot I had it, because I would have drawn more cards. Okay, I have a decent amount. I'm going to play some. I think I'll be able to get away with the damage. So let's play Lembas on Haldir, and then let's use Olorian and 1 leadership resource to put in a Nath Guide. That'll make it so Haldir doesn't exhaust a quest. And that's going to leave me with 5 cards. So yeah, I can deal out 5 damage. So let's send everybody on the quest that has willpower, and we'll try to get through this quest stage as fast as possible. Okay, we are sending 14 against 4 because you add threat equal to the tens digit. And now I need to deal out 5 damage per this Sandstorm. So let's deal some damage out with Eorith and Lembas, and the Sylvan Tracker damage is really not a problem. But if you're playing this quest and you haven't brought some sort of healing, you can see it would really be bad. So definitely need healing when you're trying to cross the desert. Okay, Eorith is going to heal Eowyn, and we make 10 out of the 16 progress needed. So at the end of the round, we're going to heal everybody that readies, that is Sylvan, and then we're going to increase the temperature by 4, and we're going to go into what should be the final round of the game. I forgot to actually increase the temperature to 44, but I do remember in a minute. The card we draw is another Minstrel, so let's put her into play, because why not? So she's only going to cost 1. She's going to let me look for an event. And I get a Heed the Dream or Feigned Voices. I guess I'll take Feigned Voices. I don't think I'm going to need it. We're going to give the deck a shuffle, and then we're going to use Hennemarth to take a peek at what's coming. And it's a 2-threat Carrion Bird, -1 engagement for each damaged character in play. That's going to be no problem. We only need to make 6 progress, and we're going to be up against 6. We are sending 13 against 6. So we reveal the enemy. And what the heck, let's spend a tactics resource. Haldir likes to show off with Hands Upon the Bow. And let's just kill that enemy, so we have nothing in the staging area, no active location. We can even trigger my final Foehammer and draw 3 more cards. So this was a very good video to show how a Sylvan deck works and why Eowyn is a perfect fit for it, with her low threat, access to tactics, and then her 4 willpower at the start of the game is really nice. There we go. I'm ending at 44 for my temperature. We have no wereworms in play. We've placed 16 progress, and that's going to be a victory. So now, if you want to see, here is the first game I played, which I am calling the most boring game of Lord of the Rings I have ever played. Here we go. Okay, so we start the game with a weapon on Haldir, the same weapon we started this game with. And then we are going to go into the quest phase, and I am going to quest with Éowyn and Celeborn, just like we did in the first game. So it is 7 against 2, and we reveal Find Water. Characters cannot be readied. All right, fine. No threat. That's nice. So we make 5 progress. We're going to travel. Our temperature went up, and we're going to go into the next round. I did get a Master of the Forge in play because I'm looking for Olorian. We're sending 7 against nothing, going against the side quest, reveal Burnt Sands. Okay, so we do clear the active location, and then we're going to place 2 progress out of the 6 on Find Water. I'm okay sitting here because I don't have a Sylvan tracker. So we travel, the temperature goes up, and then I get another weapon on Haldir. I still haven't found Olorian. We're going to send characters on the quest, and we get Burnt Sands. Okay, so we're going to put 3 on the active location, and then we're going to clear Find Water, so I get to ready a hero I control. That doesn't matter. I haven't drawn a Nath guide yet, and so we're only sending 7 on the quest. We get Seek Shade, another side quest. This one's going to surge. It surges into yet another location, the Scorch Hamada. That makes you deal damage when you travel there, so we added 2 threat. So I do clear the active location, and I'm going to place some progress on the main quest. So once again, let's travel. Nothing's really going on. I did get the tracker in play, so at least I can heal in the refresh phase. But yeah, this is now the 5th quest phase that I've had, and we reveal the Desert Oasis, which is a great location, but it's another location. So that's all I've revealed. Okay, advancing to stage 2. We have to reveal a card, and what do you know? Burnt Sand. So all those locations I shuffled into the deck, yep, they're going to come right back out. So going into the next quest phase, which is quest phase number 6, we reveal Unbearable Heat. So it's just assign damage equal to the tens digit, which is kind of a problem. I have been increasing the temperature quite a bit, but I cleared the side quest, so that drops it down by 10. All right, well, I just keep building the board state, as you can see. I have Olorian now, so everything's going good. What the heck? Yep, another location. It's the Parched Wadi, and that's actually going to make me get an enemy. I actually have to discard cards until I get a creature enemy. So for the first time this game, an enemy is going to enter play because it has to. Not because I revealed it, but because I'm traveling to this location. So let's clear the active location. Let's place some progress, and now we're going to travel and get an enemy. But unfortunately, we have to shuffle the discard pile back in first. So once again, I'm shuffling back in all these locations. There goes location, location, treachery. There's an enemy. It's a wereworm. Okay, so it's a creature enemy, so we know what the wereworm does. And he's going to have 3s for his stats. Haldir's just a little short on killing it. And my Hail of Stones is just a little short on killing it. And I only have 1 tactics resource. So Hands Upon the Bow isn't going to work. Hail of Stones isn't going to work. So I decide to do an absolute Hail Mary. I play the Tree People. I pull back the Minstrel. And literally, this is the only interesting thing that happens all game. I'm looking for a Galadan Archer. And what do you know? I find it. So the Galadan Archer comes in with the Tree People and does the 1 damage I need to this wereworm, which means my Hands Upon the Bow will have enough attack to destroy it in the staging area. And that's it. I mean, other than that, nothing really interesting happens this entire game. So that was the big moment. That was it. So I killed a worm. We're going to go into the next round. Here is the quest phase. Got a pretty much unstoppable board state. I'm sending a ton on the quest. I'm up against nothing. Yeah, of course. Location. Because, I mean, why not? I didn't leave enough characters ready to kill the wereworm because I was actually starting to worry about the temperature, so I wanted to make sure I advanced. His first attack with no shadow kills Legolas, and then his second attack with a shadow will be against the Defender of the Nath, who is defending for 3. And of course it's a location as a shadow card, so he actually survives. I trigger Éowyn's ability, and just for fun I have Haldir jump in as well, and we take care of that wereworm, and now we just need to quest out to win as long as I don't reveal any more wereworms. But I'm not going to reveal an enemy. I haven't all game. Why should that change now? All right, the next round we send 14 against 6. We get Craft Remedy. It doesn't surge, and it makes all my damage characters text box blanked. It doesn't matter. So I make 8 out of the 16. Let's go into the next round. The temperature is getting dangerously high, so I am able to play Henemarth this round. And that's the only thing that could kill me is the temperature. And the only reason the temperature kept shooting up is because I just had to keep clearing locations and side quests. I wanted enemies, because then you kill them and you don't have to quest over them. But anyway, I finally go into what is the final round of the game with my temperature at a very unpleasant 52. But of course, the final card I reveal is a location. So I revealed nothing but locations and side quests and 1 treachery the entire game. Never revealed an enemy. The only enemies that came into play were through cards that made me get the enemies. It was so boring. I mean, I just kept waiting for something to happen. Anything to happen. And it was that one Galadan Archer coming in. That was it. Okay, that can happen in this game, though. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you play a quest and it just murders you. It just gives you every bad card at every worst time. This game, that didn't happen. But I hope you enjoyed these 2 games, and I hope you give Sylvans a try. They're really fun. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.